Hello people, is it recording? We're here at Aaron Craft, and in a second I'll take you upstairs to show you what today's little project is. Cowls are glass fibre and they just need a bit of weight at the front of the aircrafts, and also the cowls are very paper thin epoxy glass, and the one upstairs has had a bit of a crash and the cowl got a bit cut up. I'll show it to you actually. So I'm just going to add another coat on the inside of glass mat and we'll get a bit of film of it. So these allow you to put the plug top behind a TV and recess the plug top in so the TV can still sit flush against the wall. Here's the chaser made for the sink box before I knew what the sink box was. A schoolboy error. Of course, with the light switch here, I was in danger of forgetting that the cables go straight up from there. I got to, luckily it's a steel conduit, so I couldn't drill from there. So I drilled from here. It's at a slight angle back into the wall and it's come out fine. Okay, so I've recessed this for a plastic back box. That's what I'm going to glue in there, and that's my chase for the doorbell. I don't yet know where I'm going to put the transformer, but the cables come through to there. I could conceivably fit a transformer into that if I cut the back out of the back box. Cemented in that chase is, as a necessity, been quite rough because the surface of this is quite rough, so I haven't been able to get a smooth finish on it, but the half lantern covers this part, and a slap of paint on there. I should just mention that is conduit in there, 20mm conduit. So you can see that's 20mm conduit with an inspection bend here. Okay, I've junction JB'd it. I've JB'd the legacy cable, so I've got my 3-core and earth for the half lantern, and I've got 2-core and earth for the power supply to the Nest, which is installed there. So I've put a metal clad box into there because it fits really well. I've glued it in with the expanding polyurethane. The question has come up in my mind as much as anywhere else, and also in the comments, about how a routine job can take so many tools. Well, let me try and work through it in my head with you. Box of Wago and joiners. This is the trowel. I don't know what you call that, hod or something. Then I've got this could be thinned down a bit, but it's not just my drills. It's also got my cutting discs and a flap wheel. It's got a couple of other little bits like whisker boxes, but basically that's my drills, and that could be pared down. I've used an angle grinder with a cutting disc on it for cutting the just because it was here, but for cutting the conduit, but I could have used a junior hacksaw, of course, because I had this box with all my Milwaukee stuff, and maybe that's the reason. But I mean, it's just easy to take stuff from the van using that
and the fact that it's got all my tools in means that I do use all my tools. So for instance, I've got two impact drivers there. I have used this because I didn't have a stubby to hand. Again, a stubby would have done me on this occasion. A hammer that normally lives with the drill bits. My main hand tools, which anyone would have brought. So my CHPX, and yeah, I didn't need to have two drills, I suppose. I could have just used this, but the point is this is SDS Plus and this has an ordinary chuck in it. I can change the chuck round on this, but what's the point when you've got that up here anyway? Hand tools, so it all just does mount up, and that's not including things like expanding foam, the cement, which is in a bucket in the van. I've even used a super rod. I've used a super rod today. I don't know where I put it. I was taking it. Oh, there's the super rod down there. And we need to prepare the chase a bit further, make it deeper. So the sink box is so deep, it's in danger of coming through the other side of the wall with the chase, if you remember. And I've just boxed everything up there. We've got a new transformer, which isn't a DIN rail transformer, so hopefully that will fit and be hunky-dory. Tomorrow I've got a lot of admin to do. Thursday back in Brighton, where I was yesterday. Friday working with the Brighton team, but in Chichester. So we're all booked out. Saturday I may need to go into a little bit because of the Friday job, which you're not seeing much of, but that's a 5-bedroom EICR, so if that ends up having 4 boards or something, then I will go into Saturday on it. I may get some footage there, who knows. So yeah. Okay, according to the circuit diagram then, I've got 12 volts out, or plus 12 out to the, I mean it's not really plus 12 because it's AC, but I've got one side of the 12 volt AC going out here to the Nest doorbell. The other side of it is the feed that goes through the wall to the bell, the chime when I get it. The 0 goes through into where the chime is. Okay, yeah, so the other side, the 0 volts, goes to the Nest connector, which is indoors, and then back outdoors to the other side of the Nest. Hello. Okay, so it goes out, there's the 0 that's going through the wall, sorry, the black, or the other side of the wall, indoors, comes out, connects to the Nest connector. The other side of the Nest connector goes onto the grey, and then the grey comes all the way back here, and then connects onto the blue line from here, which is down here. Okay, so what I'm going to do just now, and then the cover goes over it to protect the terminals, and then it all goes in there. But what I'm going to do is get the blue connected up to the grey here, then get my Nest connector and connect it up indoors. This is it with the lamp back, and
so it just needs a new bulb.
New bulb, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I can, I'll pick it up when I go over to get the
oh, that's lovely, thank you.
to get the what's it.
Okay, that's super.
Now let's go in the other room and start chopping out concrete.
Okay, I've just got the back box from the sink box to fit. Yeah, you should like it when a plan comes together like this. Here we are, ready for, well, just waiting for that polyurethane cement to dry before we put the filler in. And I just thought I'd tell you about my Tiger Moth, which I started building in 2000 and when I got back from Basra in 2009, I think I bought the kit, the first kit. That was the first airframe. A bit further on, I was doing very well, but because I was being a bit of a perfectionist, it was taking a while. And then I saw a second airframe for sale, partially complete. So I bought that up as well, as I thought, well, it'll do for spares as well. And then recently, a third airframe came on the market, and me and the owner of the boatyard went in partnership on that. He let me off some of the mooring fees, and I went up to Clacton on sea to collect it. So here it is, and as you can see, it's quite large. It's quarter scale, and the cowl needing, in my opinion, a bit of strengthening. Resin and the hardener are together in epoxy. Correction, the resin is separate and you add hardener to it, and it doesn't need a catalyst. It's just the two building blocks of the polymer. With polyester, the two building blocks of the polymer are both in there. Lovely. In a solvent called styrene. Well, we have a doorbell ring sound now, but it's out of tune with the. It's out of tune with the Nest Hello. It's like quarter of a semitone lower. Not much more to show you, but this is the chase filled in, and there's a sink box, and there's a cover that slides over that. Not quite sure how, but I'm fed up with R2 wander leads that you have to plug in. I'm going to follow Steve Fisher's lead, and I'm going to use just a roll of single twin and earth. So that's this run finished. New socket, new sockets, and new sockets. That was a lot of work. And this, unfortunately, all the controls are on this side, but I have to put it there because of the conduit. Green light on the top of that. So what I found, I went around there and I was called out. Basically, I've done 12 grand's worth of work there. So when they said things were falling around their ears, circuits not working, uplighters flickering, other lights just not coming on, half the kitchen dead, just a random swathe taken through this board. It's a 3-phase board,
Tellingly though, it's the only 3-phase board apart from the board for the motor room, the lift motor room, and that draws from a sub-main off that board that I'm talking about, the big board. So what's going on? I suspected, well, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, I said it sounds like you've lost a phase, or you've lost a couple of phases. How that would happen without blowing the main cutout fuses, I wasn't aware. So I've done the job that you saw at the Nice Couple with the doorbell, and I came back and I sat down in front of the board and tested it, and sure enough, first phase is at 240 volts, second phase is at 84 volts, third phase is 0. Go to the service head, cutout fuse is all fine, it's all kicking out 240 volts at the top according to my volt stick, but after the meter I went into the isolators, the isolator of isolators, and then the individual isolators for each of the boards around the bazaars. I think there's about 11 boards there, if you remember from my work anyway. Yeah, so after the meter, one of the phases is 80 volts, hence the flickering on that phase, on the yellow phase I think it is. Red phase is 240 and blue phase is at 0. So make of that what you will. Something's gone wrong in the meter, and it's pretty, not dangerous, but if you try and run motors on those phases now, you're going to burn the motors out. So I've advised them accordingly, and they'll have to call up their electricity provider. It remains for me to thank you for tuning in again to my videos. It's much appreciated. I do enjoy reading all your comments, and I get back to them, although it's taken me a couple of weeks to get back to some of you. I apologise. It's just been, although the videos only show the tip of the iceberg, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes that I can't film, as has always been the case. But yeah, so I've got a bigger EICR at a 5-bedroom house on Friday. Let's see if I can't show you around that. Hopefully there won't be anyone in. That's in Chichester, and I'll see you in the next video, whatever that may be. Cheerio.
A man implicated by mankind, words, obsession of the genius and the fool. Everybody, every day, everywhere and every way. Whoa, words, find them, you can use them, say them, you can hear them, write them, you can read them, love them, fear them. Words transmitted as we're fitted from the start, received by all, and we're sentenced to a life with words. Impression of the stupid.